If you haven't been tested, get tested. Go get tested.
Your privacy is protected. HIV testing is completely confidential. It means you will know your results in 20 minutes. If you can spend 20 minutes getting together and go out to the club, you can spend 20 minutes and getting to know your status.
It's so important to know one's status and to know your status.
I usually try to go like every 3 months, but it usually doesn't happen that way. I usually go like 6 months. Been one time it was probably almost a year.
Gotten away from realizing what HIV and AIDS is. We don't have the face of HIV, AIDS any longer. We look good. We're trying to look good. Those that look bad died.
And yes, they're still coming in newly diagnosed. I had 2 last week that came in. Oh, I just found out last week.
You get tested. Because once you know your status, everything else is going to fall into place.
Well, my mama found out when I got beat up by 4 guys on the pier. I went and got tested. We did blood work and everything like that. Found out I was positive, then we had to do another test to see if it's a true positive.
My partner and I had went to get our blood tested at the same time. Both come back to the readings and everything. We both came back positive. Blood work done again. Anyway, they said I was negative, and the people that took the blood from me told me that probably it was a false negative.
I tested negative for 3-4 years after his death, and didn't think I had any reason to suspect that I was HIV positive.
We think that I was positive about maybe between 5 and 7 years prior to that. My partner at the time was going in for a routine physical. I went with him to get his results, and when his results came back positive, we needed to right then roll up my sleeve and also get tested.
I was asked if I wanted an HIV test, and I said sure, knowing confidently that I probably would not be HIV positive.
And I knew right away that it was going to come back positive.
I was wrong. It came back positive, and I was blown away.
But a lot of guys that test positive, believed that they were somehow not subject to getting HIV.
And I think that's the position that a lot of kids are in these days right now. It's the same position that I was in. Oh, that's not going to happen to me. That's for other people. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Because when it happened to me, I thought, this certainly cannot happen to me. No, not me. Well, yes, me, the fierce one. I have HIV.
Being single and dating, you trust people that you're with, that you're having sexual relations with, and maybe one of them was positive, or who knows.
A lot of times has to do with without not knowing that their partner was positive, or lying about their own HIV status.
And having some partners that I didn't know really, I just met them and kind of hooked up.
When you get tested, you learn of all the risky behaviors. There's a whole list of them. Don't think it's that easy. But once you test positive for HIV, it's a lifelong illness. It's not curable. You have it. You got it. When you go testing, if you come out negative, then you will know that certain behaviors are possibly a way of contracting HIV. Once you test positive, the world changes. It's not the same. You're not the same. I will never be the same that I was before testing positive.
My risk factors were lots of sex, multiple partners, and alcohol. And combine all of those together, I wasn't always making the right decisions at the right time.
The Army having unprotected sex with men, I guess I feel like it's all right to have unprotected sex. I guess it feels better too, if you think about it.
When you go get tested, your counselor will tell you, will ask you, what kind of behaviors did you engage in to make you think that you might need an HIV test? Well, you're gonna say, I had unprotected sex. What is unprotected sex? Did you know? Do you really know? I don't think a lot of people really realize what unprotected sex is. I think it's a condom, but it's more than that. It's more than that.
So I just try to share my story with people and tell them how important it is to get tested and know your status and know your health.
And if you test negative, don't think that you're done. Just learn. And go back after 3 months and listen again to your counselor. Listen to the questions that you're being asked. And if you test negative after 6 months, go back and do it again until the whole routine of what unsafe sex is all about.
So here it is. If you're HIV negative, listen to me. Stay HIV negative.
Elton John, I love you, and I love the work that you do. Keep up the good work.